We're going to bring the redistricting board meeting to session. We're first going to do a roll call. My name is Rich Johnson. I'm the chair. And to my left,
Pat Richardson.
To my right,
Paul Thompson.
Lance Johnson.
I don't think we have anyone on Zoom, so we have a quorum, so we're good. We're going to go over approve the agenda. So it looks like IT is going to go over some stuff. Hopefully we have more questions for you, and I think that's going to be a combined into the next session where we're sharing. We're going to be using you for some data that we're going to show, so it's kind of like a combination. And then it looks like the county attorney, we're probably going to go over the new meeting date for the public to come in and ask us questions due to probably COVID concerns. So anybody have any questions on the agenda, changes, or that we want to do? No. So do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next, meeting minutes from last week. I looked at it. It had the content correct. Start times are good. So have you guys have any issues with the meetings of last week? Comments, changes? Lance, you're looking.
No. I'm just letting.
okay.
I don't have any. No, sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes as written?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from September 14th as presented.
Do I hear a second?
Yes.
Lance says yes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those, aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries. So we're going to go right into the agenda. We got IT. Any new things you need to tell us, or we just maybe go into some of the analysis?
Yeah, no, I have nothing new to present for you. I'm here to answer any questions and facilitate the showing of your maps. And
Okay. I gave IT some stuff I came up with. Do you guys have anything or you just want to see what I got?
We'll see what you have.
Maybe we'll give you some
I
ideas.
was playing around. I got some.
Yeah.
I think I went maybe a little too far.
Well, you should have gotten that spreadsheet, and
Yeah.
I can go over how that works, but the first original is good because it gives you all the original numbers since we can't do reset, right? We can't reset. So if you ever go back, make sure those numbers match
Okay.
on the original for like population. You got population, you got voters greater than 18, and then you have people that are registered to vote. So what I did, looks like he has it up. So I'm going to use you as my mouse. There you go. So if you look down here, Great Mills area, and we discussed this last time, that the big problem is District 4 and District 2. From what, there's an imbalance. There's about a little bit over District 4 has about over 5,000 population above the average of all the different districts. So it's also in registered votes everywhere. It's even people greater than 18. So we also discussed that, in District 4, the big problem is the Alexian Park, Great Mills area. It's very dense. I've been here since '87, and it's been building up ever since, and it's not going to stop. So in order to maybe handle 4 now and maybe into the future, what I did, it would have worked easier if you had District 2 closer to the Lexington Park, Great Mills area, but we don't have it. So I basically had to do pay Peter to pay Paul. I put this district down here. It had about exactly what I was looking for, about 2,000 people, and that was the number that was the difference of 4 compared to 2. It's about 2,000 that would correct it. So by grabbing that area, unfortunately, it does grab the high school as a voting place, the Great Mills High School. It was also in there. And it didn't look like you could zoom in to get around it. So once you grab that area, it grabs everything. So again, we can discuss this later for other ways of doing this. But by doing that, I was able to push over into 2 parts of 1 and 4. You can see, you can move that up there, and that leveled everything out. So if you pull up that spreadsheet, pull up the original so we can show what we're talking about. So the original data is, like I said, original. So you can see 4 compared to anybody, it's over 5,000 above the average. And if you start looking at the percentage over here in the blue, you can see 4 compared to 2, it's like 26.5%. And, you know, we've been advised by the legal counsel to try to strive for about a 10% or so difference. So, and you can see even comparing 4 to 1, it's 12%. And even the other districts compare, and these are all adjoining. The blanks are where there's no adjoining, so I couldn't do any data there. But you can see there's 15% from 2 to 1 and so on. So, and if you look even further to the right, you can even see, you get the, even if we were just going by registered voter, you're going to get the same kind of thing. You got 18%, 18.6 comparing District 4 to 2. And a little bit from, looks like from 1 to 2, it's 11.44%. So these are the original numbers. 4 was a problem. So if you look at going to the edit, that's the rich edit data. Well, just hit the other tab. So using what I did on the map, moving things around and putting in the changes for the population, population greater than 18, also registered voters, I get better. Actually, I'm all below 10% on both current population percentage, current district population greater than 18 for age, and also the far right. You need a bigger display over here. I can't see it. But he's got registered voters over here. They're all below the 10% value. So, I mean, what I put together worked. Whether it's the actual final answer, I doubt it. We're going to have discussions. But this is sort of something that I was looking for, because I'm just looking at the numbers. You know, I analyze data all the time. So, and you can, yeah, you can see all the plots. They level out a lot better from the original data. So, any questions or from the board? That was my try. I'm waiting for your tries.
And,
I have one out there, but it's probably not feasible because it's a lot of changes. It's basically, I just was playing around with it all. I basically touched almost every single county to kind of just try to shift it to try to make the numbers kind of more in line with each other, so they're all about even. Knowing, and then giving District 4 a little less, knowing that it's going to probably surpass, and the goal was within 3 to 5 years, all the counties would kind of still stay within a lump of each other. I'm not sure if you want to bring up the map. I can just show it to you. Yeah, I mean, it's worth a discussion, but the only problem is that it's so much change that it would be like almost impossible to get done. Just, but I'll show you. So first of all, you can see on the graph that they're pretty much all even. So I didn't get a chance to put a nice spreadsheet together or anything like that, but I'll just kind of give you an idea. Like I said, I don't think it's really, it just depends on how much you really want to get into it. But so what I did is for District 2, I kind of stole back some of the original areas that was given to District 4 back in 2013.
Okay.
And then what I did is because that kind of made it too very lopsided, because that's a heavily populated area. So I kind of shaved a little bit off of 2 to give to 3, using the river there as kind of like a dividing, and then just trying to find a line that kind of went straight up. And then you can see what I did with 1 to give it a little bit more population, by just total population, kind of cut into, so really kind of made Great Mills more of 1, but I kind of went up into 2 a little bit further. And like I said, the only thing I was doing when I was playing around is I was just trying to see if I could get the numbers to closely align, but I wasn't really looking at the polling places and things like that and how it would change. So it's like, if it's a little too far out there, I can reset it. That was my first thought process, but
You can activate the polling places if we want to see if anything
Yeah.
went away.
But I kind of like, I really feel like if we do anything at all, I think it's going to be more kind of in line with what you have, because you're really limiting what you're not touching so many different areas,
Right.
but yet you're still trying to balance that out within that less than 10% kind of thing. But
I mean, it looks like you attacked it similar to me, like in the Great Mills area.
yeah.
Yeah, we lost the Great Mills High School again.
Yeah, but that just puts Great Mills in that Region 1, because that area is so big that,
Right.
you have to give them some place to, a voting place there. So, I don't know, it's just an idea.
I like the contiguous nature of the districts that they look good on the map as far as the
Yeah.
blockiness of it. Nothing really stands out. I went down this route at first too, making a lot of changes, and then after the last meeting, we kind of discussed maybe trying to minimize.
The changes, yeah. People don't like change, so we know that. So, and being on that other meeting last night, I could tell there was a lot of angst about any kind of change, so our goal is to try to, make it as even as we can without going too far.
You tag 4 and see what the population, so we write down some numbers here.
Yeah.
260, what's 3, 29667, 2.
So with District 1, it was like 29,220, which wasn't too much different than the first go-round. District 2 is now in 29,055. District 3 becomes 29,657. And then District 4, like I said, it's 26,000, so it's about 3,000 difference. But like I said, you can see the growth in District 4, so you the condos, everything are there, so
Oh, yeah.
it's going to catch up real quick. I think the other counties, when you look at growth, you don't see as many neighborhoods, popping up as, and neighborhoods you see are smaller. They're not, it's going to grow. I think every county is going to grow in population. I just don't think it's going to grow to the degree that 4 is because of the base.
Oh, yeah, like District 1 Ridge, that's hasn't really changed much down there.
Yeah,
A little
it's
bit.
just, yeah. But like I said, was it 3? Kind of like there's not a whole lot of changes up there. I think the most, if 2 and 4 probably are going to be the fastest growing, but I think 4 just because it's so close to the base. So, and rightfully so. That's where a lot of jobs are. So, but that was my first attempt.
Looks good.
I started with a similar goal of trying to send back the area that was moved before, and then it was too many.
Yeah, it was like all of a sudden it just had so many people.
So then I backed off of that, and I tried to keep them close to the border. My reasoning was that if you can take a whole precinct and without taking away all of the, most of the polling places, then there's less change to adjust to. But again, this was my very first, and I'm nowhere near ready to say this is what I would want to go with. I had a little bit of an issue with, since I'm retired now, I don't have access to a big screen. So I use a Mac Air. It's a little hard to see. I was having a little trouble with that.
Can you zoom out just a little bit, like on the map itself? Just a little bit, there you go. Yeah.
So I ended up with, we got to within the 10%. I took 4 down to 28,431.
Just get these numbers.
And I didn't do anything to 3 or anything to 1. So those 2 stayed the same. And I had 2 at 29,692 for total population. But I think the next thing that I want to start looking at is, are there some reasons that these areas should not be moved? And it may be natural boundaries, but it may be the polling issue, the polling place. So I didn't get that far.
Well, you can pull up the polling place and we'll see what happens. It's like you kept them.
I did try to keep the polling places, and again, that was just
One, did he go down here this? Uh-oh, maybe he did lose some. You got that one there. Looks like the other one just north of there is on the border. Look, over in 2 now. So that's a question to the election folks that are here, right?
That's us.
It's you. So they gave it to you. And this is the, you
I want to
got,
make sure we can show my map before we move. I wasn't making sure
Well, I
we're
was just
moving
talking
on.
to her.
Here. Okay,
Remember,
okay.
then we'll
As
go
long
to
as we're
yours.
not- All right.
My question is, if, as we move things around, if you get like, some of these are right on the really border, does it have to go back into 2, or is there a way, because we don't want to, people are used to going to their polling place. So is there a way of still, even though it went to 2, to keep it in 4?
Yes. So it's recorded.
Please go to the microphone.
So is the question if the district, if the polling place for one district is actually resides in another district, does it have to move?
Correct. Particularly if it's right on the edge, like a lot of these are right on the edge, are these are they going to dictate thou shalt now go to District 2, or are you going to have some flexibility, say, no, we're going to keep it where it is for the other district, even though
Districts stay, we can't move the election.
you can't move it? So they're going to go in another,
They're not movable.
So the
for
polling
us.
places
The
have.
polling places, yes, have to stay in.
Please
Well,
speak into the
I
microphone.
shouldn't say have to stay in there, because sometimes there's no polling place in that area, so we have to go outside of that district. So yes, that can change.
okay.
That's
The polling
something,
place,
something to keep in
but not
mind.
the
'cause
district.
So you can't create new polling places. Polling places that are there have to stay there. So when we're creating these maps, we have to kind of, we do have to look at that so we can make sure that the people that are in that area have plenty of places to vote.
Right.
It's just another part of the equation,
Yes.
Just for the other stuff.
Well,
Did we
you-
lose somebody?
Yours is just representation, so it's not going to change where they go vote.
Okay.
You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? They're being represented by a different commissioner district.
Oh, okay. So even if they're,
Changed their polling
that polling
location.
place is, okay, so even that polling place is in green, let's say, which is area 2.
Mm-hmm.
If you were in 4 and you're right there in Wildwood but you're happily where you can vote and, okay, so that's
Okay.
that's
That's
good.
all right.
That's good to know.
All right, that's good. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll have more questions. Do you have any?
ask before
Sure.
they leave.
Oh, hold on a second.
I had one more question.
Oh, sorry.
Actually, a request. Is it possible to get a chart or a table of population by precinct? Total population?
Population or registered voters? Population would be Eric Stang, registered voters would be ours.
Registered voters, and then over 18, is that also Board of Elections?
Yes.
Is it possible to get that by precinct?
I have that data already present. It's not being displayed in this map, but it's already part of the data that I'm showing. So I can add graphs of population by precinct into the map, as well as provide a spreadsheet for easier
Okay.
easier
Okay.
viewing that matches all this data exactly.
Okay,
So-
great. Thank you.
What's next? We want to show your data? Any more questions?
No.
Okay. Rest is the
So I would say this is my second draft. The first one I was more aggressive on. This time I kept 1 and 3 the same and just adjusted 2 into 4 to try to balance out the population. I guess when I was doing this, I wasn't looking at the voting precincts and like that. I was trying to look at the roads and where I thought the like a natural boundary would be, as far as like, Clark's Landing Road, Myrtle Point Road, to not divide a long road like that in half, where one district's on one side or the other. And that's sort of how I ended where I ended in the 2 changes in the District 4. Was that Myrtle Point stayed in 4, Wildwood stayed in 4, but yeah, the Clark's Landing, other parts of Hollywood moved into 2. I think the only thing I was sort of, I do like making some changes to 1 to sort of make it a little more contiguous, and also 3 being smaller, and knowing it's going to stay probably smaller. I kind of felt a little, wishing I'm tempted to make another adjustment to 3 to increase its
2.
population.
Grab
But-
from 2.
But the hesitancy is that once you start doing that, then I think a lot of changes start happening, because then 2 has to grow even more to make up for the losses. So this was my quick and simple, as I would refer to it.
Okay, can we go on each one? Well, I'm just writing down the numbers for each one for population. So 1 is 2, 9, 3, 4. Okay, what's 2? Oh, you're going too quick. I can't write that quick.
Sorry.
Okay, 3. Do like data in the chamber. 540. Okay, 4.
But yeah, did not do any analysis. I don't know what the percentages are as far as,
Yeah, I
if we hit our
just-
10% goal,
Yeah, it's
it might not.
auto-calculating. I even made it easy for you. Made it a little calculating.
I appreciate
To help you
that.
out. All right, so is it possible, I mean, we got numbers, is it possibility to share all this data with everyone else, what each person has put together, take a look at it?
It is possible. I have to think how to do that. It's a little bit of work to manually add everybody's copy into everybody else's copy so that you
Okay.
can see them all within your own map. But it is possible. So
The other thing you could do is take snapshots of what they did, so we get a visual. That's one way.
perhaps an easier. I could just share a new map with you all. It would be exactly the same map, and it would have everybody's
Okay.
loaded in there as a non-editable example. So I can, tomorrow morning I could take everybody's, save it off, and then put them all and send.
Or
you
we
the-
have like another selection, like I look at Paul, and hit Paul, and if I want to hit Pat.
Yeah,
and
so it
hit
would just
Pat.
be a new map, and in the,
But static.
the layer
It would be
list,
a
you'd
static
you'd
map.
have 5 layers, and it would just be each of your examples as a static layer that you could all look at.
Would be static, but could we still put in the polling places?
Oh yeah, I can.
Or you can
any of
just
these
do
other
that.
layers I can add in there as
Okay.
well. Yeah.
So I think we need to look at each other's ideas and,
Yeah, I think that'd be helpful if you could add
Help
those
out.
layers. That would be great.
Yeah. That
Now-
saves me a lot of work to just send you a new map that has that rather than adding it to every single person's. It exponentially multiplies the effort. So
Now, is there a way to like that's like my draft 1? Mm-hmm. And then is there a way of saving that so I can
Yes, that question.
reset?
Yes,
I know, and you have to reset each time, right?
apparently we can't save, this iteration 1, this is Lance number 1, and we go to
Yeah.
Lance, there is no Lance number 2.
Yeah.
You got to go back and,
But when you save that as a layer, because that goes into another.
Yes, I would
do
save
that.
that off,
So
and
that's
that would
like
be saved
attempt-
for posterity. I would call that number one.
Okay,
and
so
then
like
in the
basically
map,
that
it
would be all of our initial.
But I don't think once it goes over there, it's not edible. It's just, that's what it is.
That's what it is. That was your first draft, and it is what it is. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then you can on your map you can go try something different. On the next meeting, you can
Right.
present version 2, and
Okay.
then we can load that into the map.
But we
so
still
it's
have
three there.
that draft version, which is in those layers that we could bring up and at a later time or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
But we can't bring it back in for
For editing, yeah.
No, you won't. You won't be able to like.
Well, I'd like to
bring
see
it in
that,
and
but-
switch back.
Think about that. Think about that.
I think you said it was a limitation of the software itself, right?
Yeah, it's just not set up for users to be able to save and change, and it's yeah, this is really set up for letting users all combine edit a single item that doesn't need versions. Just yeah, the needs to do all that is just with databases just gets very very complicated, and this software wasn't designed for that level of.
So in addition to sharing what other people have done, the other thing we probably need to be able to get, like the numbers I just wrote down, it'd be nice to be able to see those numbers. Can you do that too for whatever the iteration had, what was their total population?
Yes.
Okay, so we'd like to see that too. Maybe it's added to the layers. I don't know how you want to do it.
Yes, it would probably actually be when you go, click on Lance version 1. It would. I would probably actually add the population right
Okay.
here so that you would see it there. Be because I can't. I can't go.
Right. I mean,
there.
visuals
Adding
good.
dozens of these little pie chart, bar chart tools, but I can preserve the population
So
here.
that total population thing over here to the left, that's, if you just had it select one layer, let's say you had mine selected in that say draft version 1 or whatever, that would show the total population for my map, right? And then if you unclick mine and brought up, say, Paul's map, you
No,
would see
it
the
would-
total population there or no?
There would have to be a separate button, a separate one for each person's layer. It's tied to the layer. That's why it would then, I'd have to have 5 of these, and I could do that and then title them, but you'd have to make sure you're opening the correct total population chart for the for the person's map that you have selected in the layer list. So
what would end up being in that total population box if you did that layer thing? Would it be a combination of all of our maps together, so then it would be really blown out of proportion?
no, I can set each one of these widgets, as it were. I set which layer it's looking at,
Right,
but
okay.
it's set to that. So I would create 5 of these, and each one would be preset to look at a different layer. And you, as the user, would have to make sure you're opening the correct one to match the layer that you're looking at from the
You're not
layer
going to gray out the other ones to prevent us from making a mistake?
list. No, unfortunately it's not that smart. Like I said, we're really taxing the intent and the the capability of this software here.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions for IT or? I think the next thing we have to go over is the lawyering. I guess you want to talk about schedule, and I guess we have to approve the extra meeting on the 23rd of November.
Folks, again, John Hauser from the County Attorney's Office. All we've got for you this evening is follow-up to the discussion last week, whether this board wanted to add on a 5th public hearing. We identified the date for that as November 23rd. We just need a vote if you all would like to do that, and the rest can be done.
I looked at my schedule, I'm good. I mean, it is the week of Thanksgiving, so I don't know what you guys have planned. 23rd, you're good? So we have 2 goods. Everybody else good, or?
That's fine with me.
Would someone want a motion to approve this meeting on the 23rd for folks that can come in due to COVID restrictions or concerns? Anybody?
I move to approve the motion.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? say nay. Ayes have it. We've got the meeting on the 23rd.
That'll be it. We'll take it from there. Thank you.
All right, so we approved that. You're gonna work, IT, you're gonna work on giving us sharing of what everyone's ideas. of what's
Yeah, so
going
if, I will export everybody's tomorrow morning, and then send you all a link to that map where you can view everybody's together. And then at that point, you'd be free to start editing your own maps again, head towards version 2 for next week. So.
And just so that if anyone has any questions, send it to Diane or Sharon, and she will disseminate our questions, whether it's IT or the lawyers, whether we're doing everything right. So we can't talk openly because we want to make sure everyone is, aware of what we're doing. So I'm sure we're going to have questions on the maps, and, you probably have some questions for IT. So we can just ask, we'll go to you and you'll disseminate. So I think that's pretty much it. So everyone else have any other questions, concerns?
No.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Do I hear a second?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. We're adjourned.